It's Wee Natter. I'm Mark Steele, and across the table from me is
Jenny Steele.
And we are joining you on the week. Putin has declared a tank holiday Monday.
A tank holiday Monday?
A tank holiday Monday. A day you take off to enjoy having a tank turn up on your lawn. Well, he declared it and then the coup sort of stopped happening. But I must say, having a tank holiday doesn't match the bunting of the summer fair you'll have out.
Yeah.
So imagine what your abode looks like at the moment, dear listener. There's probably somebody around you with some summer bunting out at the moment, right?
Yeah.
Tank turning up. It doesn't quite fit in, but a day off's a day off, isn't it?
It is. I want some summer bunting.
You want some summer bunting?
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, with all that stuff that's happening in Russia, the writers of current affairs have properly jumped the shark now, haven't they? So tune in next week, dear listener, to see if Sir Trumpalot's hair will break its silence and reveal all. And on a more positive note, the postbag I don't think there's much more to reveal. And the postbag has arrived. And last week we asked you, what winds you up as you get older? So what's winding up more and more and more as you get older? Matthew Summers, exactly the same thing winds me up now as they did when I was younger. Only now as I get older, I have a lot less patience and make a lot more type noise than I did when I was younger. I'll add the odd "oh, for God's sake" in there as well. That's my addition, the "oh, for God's sake."
Yeah. What is it then? Do we know?
He's just saying he does more of that for everything.
Oh, sorry. I thought there was something in particular that made him do more of the "no, God" sort of thing. Yeah,
and it's usually "oh, for God's sake" or "for Pete's sake" or whatever, depending on the audience. I see myself doing more of that. Slap-Ups has also been in touch saying, for me, it's music, movies and professional sports. They've all been fiddled with and changed by having the latest technology forced upon them. Not even working 100% among other things. Oh, and AI too.
Hey, do you mean things like Postman Pat and Fireman Sam? Because now, apart from when they used to be little puppets, they're now like AI figures. So you call it AI figures. Have I said that right? You know what I mean, don't you?
I don't think it's
not AI,
it's computer-generated image. It's not the computer that's making it up, though.
No, but
there
you know what I mean?
Artist.
It's not the same. It's not got the same. I mean, Pontypandy used to be lovely. It used to be really nice and picturesque. Now it just looks like a cartoon. It's no good anymore.
But the kids love it. That's the point.
Sure,
It's not for you. It's for the little kiddies. You got to look at it like that.
I like it.
And on the back of the AI thing, I hate to say this as somebody who works in tech, tech is not the solution to everything.
No.
It's not the solution to every problem in the world. It's a tool. Like AI is a tool. Currently, it's fancy statistics, or guess next word. That is the height of artificial intelligence at the moment. But like the computer, it will improve some things, but I don't think it'll fundamentally change the world. I mean, whatever happened to the paperless office?
Whatever happened, yeah.
It didn't. We got more printers and more paper, didn't we? We got paperwork on top of the computers to manage the computers.
We have.
So we got even more paperwork, but even less paperless in our paperless offices. It's all nuts. But the appropriate way, I need to get some sensible laws in place. And I'm going to step off my soapbox so we can have a wee natter. Admittedly, this is going back a few years now, and I kind of feel guilty for bringing it up, but I'm going to say the L word. Do you know what the L word is?
The L word?
The L word.
No.
Lockdown.
Oh, lockdown.
Which could have been one of a number of things. It could have been party season, or it could have been like the woman in front of me at the shops when it was all starting to kick. This was before lockdown, just when it's starting to kick off and they're putting restrictions in. And the woman in front of me was getting shouted at for being too close to the cashiers and things like that when we're supposed to keep her 2 meters away.
Yeah.
And she was getting upset because somebody was shouting at her, telling her what to do. And it's like, well, yeah, it's a pandemic and we're trying not to kill everyone. And it's before we knew how good or bad COVID was. But lockdown and all the bits that came with it brought a few things into my life. Did it bring anything into life for you?
No, I don't think it did. Well, it brought face masks.
It brought face masks, yes. I learned just how nasty people are, and they will even run on phone-ins on the radio and say, you know what, throw everyone under the bus. You're nan, the weak, don't care so long as I can make my money.
Yeah, that's true. There's a lot of people selfish.
It did remind me of that. But on the other hand, it showed me just how much other people care as well. It's the whole putting stuff out on the doorstep for your neighbours that were unable to get out and things like that. Yeah. So a few years on, We are a number of years on now. And I may be asking this because I saw somebody else ask the question, and I may be plagiarising it, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Is there any habits that you acquired during lockdown that you've since kept?
No, because I went out walking a lot, but then I went out walking anyway. So no, I don't think I formed any, because I actually work for the NHS, so I just carried on going out to work anyway. So it's not really a bigger deal for me. So I can't really think of any, unless you can think of something that I now have kept going. Can you, Mark?
I can't think of any specifically, and it wasn't just NHS that were still working through it. I had to actually go down to some data centres in London while we still had the face masks thing, and they have hot aisles, as they're called, right? So if you imagine when you're walking into somewhere with air conditioning, it's quite cool. But computers, especially when you get a lot of them, pump a big pile of heat out.
They do.
So in quite a lot of data centres, they have what's called hot and cold aisles. So you have the cold aisles that you can wander down, which is very nice, chilled, relaxed. You don't mind having the face mask on. And then there was the hot aisles, where it was blasting all the exhaust out the back of the computers. And I sweat on those anyway, sweating in those with a face mask on as well.
Not nice.
I cannot recommend that. And, I only had it for a short period, so I was quite lucky. But
yeah.
I feel for anyone that had to put up with that stuff. But yeah, right, you talked about walking. That was something we did more of. I already did stress walking, as I like to call it, before COVID.
Yeah.
I did more of it in lockdown. It used to be that I'd burn through a pair of shoes roughly once a month.
Yeah.
Because if I get stressed, get angry, I stick my shoes on, I go for a long walk. And I come back, hopefully slightly less angry, slightly less stressed. Doesn't always work because there's not enough distance versus daylight, but I can usually take the edge off at least.
Yeah.
Do you know I'm properly angry if you see me putting hiking boots on and I'm about to head out?
That's every day.
Yeah. I got it down to a new pair of shoes every week.
Oh, wow.
That's what lockdown managed for me. And the other one, of course, was acquiring zero hope for society. I'm only kidding a bit. It's not that bad. But I'm going to open it up to you, dear listener. What habit have you picked up in lockdown and managed to keep going? I'd be impressed if anyone's managed to keep any of the good ones going, like they've picked up crochet or whatever, some sort of hobby.
Or not having a haircut.
Or not having a haircut. Imagine what you would look like today if you'd not had a haircut since March 2020.
Who's that thing out that film? No, is it called The Thing, where it's just like one massive shaggy hair?
The Thing.
You can't even see the eyes on it. Was it from the Addams Family? Is it Thing? Maybe not. I don't know.
I have no idea, but I will look it up after. So if it is The Thing, I will give the points to you for that one. But yes, we are opening this up to you, dear listener. What habit have you managed to keep up since lockdown? I suppose we could expand it as well if there's any that you wish you'd kept up since lockdown and gave up pretty promptly. Spotify is the place to do it. If you're listening on Spotify, you can go into the app right now. The question's right there at the top. Tap on it and stick your magic in there. Otherwise, at Solid Radio UK or at Solid Sooty on the socials, and we will share your habits, both good and bad, in the next episode.
Yeah.
Sound all religious, but I saw a sign.
Did you?
It was in the supermarket, but I saw a sign and it said, "Shoplifters, we're watching you."
Oh. That's
good to know, isn't it?
Yeah.
It was also missing an apostrophe. I think it's supposed to be "Shoplifters, we're watching you." But they forgot about it. So it's like, "Shoplifters, we're watching you." It's like, oh, okay, I guess that's just what goes on in supermarkets nowadays. It used to be security staff are watching the shoplifters. Nowadays, the shoplifters are just like, what's this guy up to? But he's got a bit of cash on him. What's going on here?
We've got the grammar policing.
Although I am reminded just how brazen shoplifters can be from my days in retail, which were not yesterday, dear listener. But I shall regale some stories, including the reason why vacuum cleaners and irons were chained down in the place that I worked.
Oh, wow, I thought it was just cheese that was chained down. Blocks of cheese.
No, vacuum cleaners were chained down because somebody literally walked into the shop, grabbed the most expensive one off the shelf, display model, of course, but they don't care about that.
Nah.
Turned around, stared at the security camera on the way out and walked out the door.
Oh, wow.
And this was in the days the security camera was still that fuzzy black and white.
Oh, yeah.
You had no chance of making them out. So they knew it was obvious. The other one I remember was really brazen. Someday they turned up with this big, almost like picnic blanket thing in a bag. So what they do is they're then sitting in front of they then head down looking very shifty, of course. They never know how to look cool, calm about it. But anyway, this person has this bag with this big blanket in it. They walk up to the irons. I'm not making this out, right? They then lay it out on the floor, almost like they're gonna have a picnic, and then start picking items off the shelf, but very brazenly. Of course, they didn't twig that we'd clocked them in about 10 seconds, and now there was an entire ring of staff sounding around them going, "Would you mind putting that back, please?" The other one was they turn up with a big bag and a big buggy, and you had to keep hawk eyes on them. Yeah. Because that's a lot of places they can secrete things that were easily stolen. But there you go. Tricks of the trade, dear listener. Oof. Just remember not to bring tinfoil inside your bags because then the tags won't work. You know, that kind of stuff. I've got to stop giving these tips out. It's ridiculous, isn't it? But anyway, there's something that winds me up about supermarkets nowadays. What do you think it could be?
People just standing still in the aisles, rubbish music.
The standing still in the aisles, I've got a solution for. Asda, Tesco, Aldi, Lidl, even Waitrose, you know. I was about to say Budgeons, you know, the fancy northern Waitrose. Please talk to me, because I have this fantastic idea. What you do is you paint the middle of the aisles in red, right? And if you want to be in the red zone, you've got to keep moving. Otherwise, we'll install little robots that'll then shove you out the way into the sides.
I can imagine that.
It's so that, you know, I know Doris needs to take a bit of time comparing the different options available nowadays, because they are quite confusing, some of the packaging options and sizes and things like that. But she doesn't need to do it in the middle of the aisle. No. Just nudge you over in the corner. We'll get some robots to do it. It'll be fine. So no, it's not fast lanes.
Self-service checkouts.
It's not. I don't even mind those. I quite like those because it's just bish bash bosh.
Well, you hope it is. Sometimes they take longer to go through there.
They can, but then you don't get all the awkward small talk from somebody that really doesn't care to be there.
Yeah.
And it varies from week to week whether it's me or them that doesn't want to be there. So. No, the thing that's genuinely winding me up with supermarkets at the moment is barriers. It's like we've gone back in time about 25 years recently, isn't it? Because Asda and Morrison's used to have those daft barriers that were supposed to stop you from shoplifting. Right. As you walked in the store, the barriers would open and then they closed behind you.
Yeah.
You're remembering now, aren't you?
You can't get back out if you change your mind, can you? You've got to wait for somebody to walk in so you can quickly run out.
Yeah. In the 2020s, every supermarket is doing it now. It's annoying, isn't it? Yeah.
Do you know what I don't like? I think it's normally Morrison's I've only ever seen it in, the turnstile doors. Because somebody always taps it and then it stops and you're all stuck waiting for it to start spinning round again. Oh, you're talking... I know the one you're on about, where you have to time your entry in just right or it will cause the doors to come to slam. And there is always somebody that's either not paying attention or getting the door bumping into the back of them. Ridiculous.
Or trying to go too fast and keep bumping into the front of the door.
Yeah.
It's like they don't realise there's sensors there or something. Yeah, I know exactly what you're on about there. But with the barriers, every supermarket's doing it nowadays. And some of them are even requiring you to turn out your receipt on the way out as well.
Oh, wow.
Show your receipt off. How do you feel about that?
I don't think I like that, because I feel like they were thinking I was stealing or something.
Now, you see... When you've handed your money over and you now have the goods in your basket, in your bags, or whatever, heading out the door, they are yours. The supermarket has no claim to them whatsoever at that point. You have traded them for money. They are yours. The supermarket can get lost as far as I'm concerned at that point. And my view there, and I really want you to do this as well, dear listener. If you've already paid, it's yours. So I've already paid, it's mine. The same with Argos. You know when they put it on the shelf and they're taking 20 minutes to...
Oh, yeah.
I will now give them 10 minutes, and if they take any longer than that, I grab it off the shelf myself. Go, look, I paid for it already, I'm out. I'm not messing around. I'm not wasting time. If the security guard wants to follow me, they can, but I'm not stopping for any barrier because they think I'm nicking. And I am the sort of person, dear listener, that, you know, when you walk out of a shop and you set off an alarm, you've paid for all your goods, they are yours, you've genuinely paid for. I will not stop for that nowadays. I will keep walking. And this isn't something new. I used to do it years and years ago. I did it at Curry's, because they took... The best thing about Curry's is they take forever to serve you. So I was in for a pair of headphones, literally standing at the till with money, waving it in my hand, going, hello, would you like to take my cash off me? Took him about 10, 15 minutes to do that. they didn't clear a security tag on it. So I walk out the door, sets off the alarm, I keep walking. Manager follows me, all going, oh, sorry about that. Yeah, well, we'll get the tag off so that if you need to take it back, you don't have any awkward questions. The manager was on his fag break, along with half his staff, which explains why the store was it was impossible to get served, yes. So that is my view on the world. If I set the alarm off, that is the security guard's problem. I ain't stopping, they deal with it. Is it just me, or are postbox hats becoming more of a thing?
Oh, I'm thinking postbox hats, but I know what you mean now. Yeah, they are, aren't they?
Yeah,
I like them.
We've got a few out around here. They're quite elaborate. If you don't know what I'm on about, dear listener, it is not a postbox with a top hat sellotaped onto the top of it. It is usually some sort of knitted or crocheted scene, isn't it?
Yes.
And we have some very intricate ones in the fine place that we happen to reside upon.
Yeah.
Or within even. We don't live on top of it, we live within it. It's a bit weird. We have the two that come to mind. One of them is to celebrate the fact that we're building houses on top of the old coal mine now.
Yeah.
So it's all about the old colliery with the winding wheels and the little tags they used to use to get paid as well, with the number stamped on them.
Yeah.
They've got those that round the edge of that. Which is not something you'd ever think about until somebody points out that's what it is. It's like,
I only knew that because one of the guys that did our removals, Pickford's, he used to be a miner, and he was telling me he'd still got his, but you used to have to show it to get paid as proof of who you are, and unless you showed it, you wouldn't get your wages.
This must have been in the days when they actually gave you cash wages in an envelope.
Yeah, I think it was, yeah.
I think it's been years since I've even had a cheque in an envelope, never mind cash in an envelope for payment. But we've also got another one that's about the coronation of King Chucky.
Yeah.
And,
Chucky.
Well, that's a friendly name for Charles, isn't it? I'm sure you'll enjoy being called King Chucky.
King Chucky. I like when they call Harry Hazza. I think Hazza suits him. Hazza. Oh, he's a bit of a lad, isn't he? Old Hazza.
Hazza and Gaza down the tune. I don't know if that's a TV show I'd want to watch or not. We'll have to make it and find out. But yes, they have these hats in the boxes to celebrate the fact they might get emptied occasionally, as does happen with Royal Mail. But if I was to give you the challenge of creating or designing one, what would you go for?
I'd have to go for something to do with Sooty the Solid Radio cat, I think.
So you would make a magnificent postbox hat to celebrate the cat?
Yeah, maybe I'd do all around. I'd do Sooty, Hamlet, Oscar, and maybe like a Wee Natter logo, Solid Radio logo, and I would probably make little people of Cheryl and Ellie. And maybe I might put Stephen Hall in there, you know, who owns Hamlet. Maybe me and you in there as well.
This is quite an elaborate... See, you do...
I'd never thought of it before, yeah.
You do realise that the top of a postbox is only about the size of a pizza.
Yeah, that's the point. I might have to be two-tier.
a two-tier postbox hat. For myself, I would go for something to reflect modern British life. That's what I would go for.
So that's a vape and a syringe.
A vape and a syringe. Yay! I was going to go slightly more positive than that. You know, like a scene of a nightclub turfing out at 2 a.m. Or, you know, somebody gets splashed by the bus that's not stopping for them. You know, something that says authentic British lifestyle. That's what I'd go for. Because at the end of the day, postbox, especially the red ones, or even the gold ones, if you happen to get somebody that's Olympic status from your area, they are all about the Britishness of delivering mail, isn't it? Yeah. So you want to go even further with the Britishness. Or, I suppose I could go slightly more light-hearted with the Britishness.
Bag of chips?
Not a bag of chips, because that will get dredged upon it anyway. That will get added by somebody walking past anyway. I would go with depicting a neighbourly dispute over parking spaces. Yeah. A couple little, you know, like cake toppers, but cuter and fluffier. Yeah. Them trying to look angry with a couple of cars parked slightly squiffy. Yeah, definitely. I think we could make that scene. I think we could. I think we could make that. Actually, yeah. I'd love to see the little knitted tacks under the tyres and things like that as well. It's never going to happen though, unfortunately, unless we learn to knit or crochet. Yeah, I can't do either. And on that note, dear listener, sadly, this is the last episode of the Wee Natter as we take up a new hobby and deliver interesting I would say mosaics. I forget what the fancy word is for a still picture in time. But, you know, the scenes that will go upon post boxes.
I wish I could think of the word, but I can't either. Just going to go with the word static.
Oh, get some static on it, love.
I want to have a little bit of a moan, because you know I normally like to put a little bit of a point of view across each week on a Wee Natter.
I need to get a Casio keyboard. I know I've got one in the abode somewhere. Okay, get it out and we'll get Jane's rant of the week.
I like that, yeah. This week's one is all about the mobile phone.
All right. What would make you rant about a mobile phone, I wonder?
Well, it's something that irritates me, because I was sat on the bus on the way home from work a couple of days ago, and when you use a mobile phone, how do you use a mobile phone? So let's say I'm ringing you, you answer the phone. How do you use your phone? Where do you put your phone?
So it goes da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I get it up to my ear and go, hello!
Exactly, which to me is how a mobile phone should be used. But no, I've noticed now, it's not just the youngsters, it's over quite a large age range, is that when they'll answer the call, it goes on speaker and they start talking to it like that. You know, they hold it flat in front of the mouth, so they're talking through the mouth.
I love how you went like that.
Well, that's what you do, isn't it?
On an audio medium.
Well, people know what I'm talking about. They can say, so I put my hand flat.
Your hand's flat, palm up.
Palm up.
People, and it's all like an inch or two in front of your mouth.
Yeah. So this woman was talking on the phone. She's like, I can't hear you. Yeah, I'm on the bus. Yeah, I'm going to Ollerton. Yeah, oh yeah, I won't be home till 9 o'clock. What? No, sorry, I can't hear you. Yeah, you have to speak up. No, I said I'm on the bus. Sorry, what was that? And I'm sitting there and I'm really trying hard not to burst out. Use the phone in the manner it's supposed to be used, and then you can hear what they're saying. But she was clearly struggling to hear. But instead of just putting the phone to her and using it as you would normally use a phone, no, it kept in the palm of her hand. In the end, I thought, I felt like having a conversation on her behalf. I thought, what is up with people?
Oh, the always on speakerphone.
And I don't want to hear your conversation.
No. I must admit, I am tempted sometimes to join in the conversation. I haven't done yet, but I think I will do at some point. Like they're chatting away, they've got it on speakerphone, and I'll go, so how's your hemorrhoids going, mate? Something like that.
Shouldn't I? I never thought of that. I was at the back of the bus as well, and she was at the front. What I should have done was, she says she's on the bus going to Ollerton, mate. But I just thought, it's those little bits that just irritate me.
Do you want to know the funny bit is they will probably get upset that you've joined their conversation at that
Probably,
point.
And the serial call maker as well. I've had the unpleasantness of sitting next to somebody on a bus again, and they have a conversation, and sometimes it can be a bit personal, so you sit there thinking, I shouldn't really be listening to this. They'll finish the conversation, and it's like they can't sit and do nothing on a bus or whatever. So as soon as they've done one conversation, they're ringing somebody else up. And if that person don't answer, they're ringing somebody else up. And then they'll have a conversation, and I'll put the phone down, and then they'll ring somebody else up. And I feel like saying, my God, can you not keep off your phone for more than 2 minutes? I don't know, like Matthew, as you get older, things irritate you more. But that really irritates me.
So if they were doing anything other than making phone calls, would you be all right with it?
Well, it's constant, isn't it? I don't know. They're just babbling on as sitting quite next to you on the bus, and they're just babbling on and talking about nothing, really. And I'm trying to, just have a relaxing journey home, looking out the window, and all I can hear is, what time are we meeting tonight? No, I've picked your 20 Bensons up from the local newsagents. And do you know what happened last night in the club? Mind you, when that sort of conversation starts, you start to kind of prick your ears a bit, don't you? Because you think, I'm going to get something juicy here.
And 9 times out of 10 you don't,
nothing.
Because they've just left their jacket out of the club or something.
And I'm thinking, is it your stop yet, love?
Hate to bring this topic up again, dear listener, but you're getting older when you get one of those did you know facts, and it's about something that used to happen in your life.
Ooh.
Did you know? And it's bad enough seeing an old phone in a museum. If you want to have that experience, dear listener, I can highly recommend the National Museum of Scotland.
Yeah, we went, didn't we?
We ended up in the technology section. I spent most of it going, I had one of those. I worked with one of those. I had one. It was a little alarming. It just reminded me how many years had passed. But no, I was on the internet today. Don't worry, it's not going to get rude. But I was on the internet today, and I saw today I learned, or did you know type fact. And it touches on something that used to be normal-ish in UK life. What do you think it could be?
Normal-ish.
Normal-ish.
Life. The phones that you used to use, where you put your finger in and go, the dial-up. Or the dial-up internet.
The dial-up internet.
AOL.
The one thing I remember about dial-up internet and AOL was just having to try over and over and over and over to finally get a connection. Yeah, it was miserable.
Milk bottles, glass milkman. No?
Weirdly, we did have somebody try to be our milkman recently. Chat to the door going, would you like any milk? And I said, well, we go through about 4 pints a week. He was like, oh, it's not even worth bothering, mate. So, okay, thanks. But yes, milk is an interesting one, but no, it's to do with transport. Slam door trains.
Oh, yeah. You don't do that anymore. We used to have to hang out the window, though, to open the door. I didn't like that.
Yeah, so as the train's approaching the station, you pull down the window, lean out, try not to knock your head off on a signal, and open the door.
I used to be worried that when the train set off, the conductor had not been, or the guard, whatever it was, had not gone down the whole platform and slammed all the doors shut. I used to think, God, what if we go off and there's a door hanging open?
Let's say it happened often enough. There was always instructions above the door on what to do when that happened.
Oh, wow.
I do remember that. But the last time I was on one of those slam door trains and we were approaching into the station, in front of me was a kid, a kid, whatever you want to call them, right? And they'd clearly never seen this type of train before. Because we pull into the station and they're just sitting there waiting for the door to magically open. It's like, no, hold on a minute, mate. I'll come sort out for you. Lean out the window, open the door for him.
I was like, oh my God, I'm in a third world.
He was never going to figure it out otherwise. There are instructions there what to do, but he's never going to figure it out in a million years.
Read instructions.
Yeah. More recent ones, if we're talking about things that used to be. So the fact was about trains, but there's a couple of other things that sort of stick in my mind. They sort of fall into this category of things like, do they still make Argos catalogues?
No, they don't. Actually, I don't know why I said that because I'm not 100% sure, but I'm guessing they don't.
And yellow pages. Because the Argos catalogue, I didn't do this. I didn't draw on it, but I did use it as inspiration for gifts and things like that.
I think you might get the Christmas catalogue, don't they still? Because a lot of stores still do like a Christmas catalogue, don't they? So I'm not sure about Argos.
But I've not seen the yellow pages in decades now.
No.
Which some kids don't realise this, but is the reason that almost every taxi firm is called AAA 1111.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to get the top of the yellow pages listing and be the first one in the list. But I did see a better fact in this list on the internet. Better than the slam door train thing. The Bank of England, screwing over the little guys they ever do. That is the job of the Bank of England, certainly over the last decade or two. Funny how they never say it's their pay that needs constraining, Bank of England people, is it? No. It's always us little people. It's never Bank of England people. But turns out they produced a £1 million banknote.
Did they?
Yes.
Imagine finding that on the floor.
Well, you're not going to find it on the floor because it's in bank vaults, but it looks proper counterfeit, like printed at home and signed by Bob. Now, I did wonder if you did find that on the floor, you found this £100 million note because they were being a bit slack with it, a bit like some of their comments. Do you think local shop would take it?
No, they won't get no change, would they?
Okay, yeah.
So have you got anything smaller?
They don't take 50s as it stands.
So you got no chance with that.
Because they assume you're a drug dealer is basically what it comes down to with 50s. Because nobody sees them normally, so they assume they're all counterfeit.
I've not seen a 50 in years.
I genuinely haven't either. And it's the only time I've ever seen a 50 was when I bought a car.
Would you like to have a 50 in your wallet? I don't think I would, because if I'd be frightened, I mean, it's bad enough losing like a fiver or something. Can you imagine if you lost a £50 note? Even
worse than that, going on the buses. So you've been on the bus lately. It's all contactless nowadays. When I was regularly taking the bus, you often had to pay cash. There might be the odd one with card machine, but it was generally you paid with cash in those days. And what used to happen is the only place that would be open would be the bus station and the cash machine. So you'd go get cash out of the machine, get your 20 quid or 10 quid or whatever, walk up to the driver and they go, it's the end of the world. No, I'm not going to accept your money. Rah, 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 rah. It's like, where were you expecting me to get change from? It's 6 o'clock in the morning. Not even the news agents is open. And you're giving me grief for trying to pay for services.
They'd have a float, wouldn't they?
They did, but they hated it because it basically burned through the whole float of one person. That was unfortunately a wee natter. I can only apologise, dear listener, because I was Mark Steele and across the table from me was...
Jenny Steele, and we're ending on a note where I thought that a little bit of chocolate that had spilt down my bra was a tick. So I ended up freaking myself out thinking I got a tick on me.
Wait, this is news to me.
Yeah, you was out walking, or you was out somewhere. You was out at a meeting maybe. I'm not sure where you was, but you weren't here. Well,
you see, if I was out walking, I was probably out being angry at the universe again. That's my default state.
Maybe it was, but I can remember looking at it because at the minute where we live, there's so much talk about ticks in this particular part of the woods, and it's getting me a bit paranoid when I go out for a walk. We've been out for a walk, and I was like, I looked and I thought, oh my God, I was jumping up and down, screaming, oh, I got it. It was a bit of chocolate that must have slipped up and melted. And I thought, oh, God, it was chocolate. So that was, but I freaked myself out. In fact, some people probably think that was funny if they saw that, but I showed myself up.
You think any piece of fluff is a tick. You've got this obsession with ticks. Yeah, I keep thinking I've got a tick, but I haven't. Well, I hope I haven't. Well, we'll see what happens. But if you happen to enjoy this nonsense, dear listener, then... If you have not done so already, hit the subscribe button and get a wee natter delivered to your lug holes the moment it is made available to the universe. You don't have to go hunting for it. It just suddenly appears in front of you.
Like magic.
Yes. The other thing we're going to ask you to do is when you're out and about and you're doing your normal day-to-day business and you go to visit your normal taxidermist, you tell them, by the way, Wee Natter on the podcast, check it out. And on that note, we'll catch you next time.
Bye.